Ochiwana London iye jeke mena Manchester
All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you're domicile. This is Radio Biafra USA 2. I'm sorry I got so... The last broadcast I didn't want to leave, and we're still struggling to get the Australians back online, which was something we're supposed to do, and I don't know why, for whatever reason, people are talking and they don't want to stop talking. Sometimes it depends on us. We have to cut them off and tell them that time is up, because we have to prepare ourselves for the next broadcast. However, that well said, the Australians are coming in at this point, and let me see, I'm trying to see if I can get them in right away. Callers, Australians, are you ready? The last broadcast are ready. The Australians back. All right, I know you're ready, but it's like I'm getting some confusion here. I'm hearing some voices coming back to me. Sometimes depends on us. We have to tell them that time is up. All right, just give me another few minutes to get things ready for you guys. Yes. However, Australians are coming. See if I can get them right away. Callers, Australians, are you ready? Australians, all right, I know you're ready, but like I'm getting some confusion here. I'm hearing some voices coming back. Depends on us. All right, let me see. I don't know where there's a repeat coming in. Oh boy.
as president.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. One more time, I say welcome to another live broadcast. This morning, I'm handing over to Australians. I hope you guys are there and ready to ramble. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mazi Iyke. Good evening, Biafrans and friends of Biafra. My name is Mazi, former Harrison. Here in Australia, like we always have with me here the members of our IPOB community here in Australia. Like we always come every Wednesday to talk to our people. Before I commence, I would like to call upon the name of Chukwu Kabiama because this radio is his mouthpiece. The enemy has tried everything possible to destroy IPOB, destroy Radio Biafra, but all the effort is in vain. And it's by the grace of Chukwu Kabiama. It's not by our own making. Ezi onye bela ekekere n'igwe na anya bụkọ ego n'ụbọchị nke taata anya jagi ma nye togi anya bunye ego n'ebok ezi onye Awanasị bịa nọnyere anyị n'ụbọchị nke taata, nekwanụ nwa odibo gị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu, nekwanụ ndị nje ozi gị, nekwanụ ndị ọzọ nọ n'ime mkpọrọ ezi onye nna Chineke. Agbakọtakwana ha azụ, ekwekwana ka eche ndị iro n'ebe ha nọ bịa na mmezu. Ezi onye nwe nekwanụ aka niile sowere agba mgba ka obodo iwu Biafra ghara inwere onwe ha. Ọ bụ mmadụ, ọ bụ obodo, ọ bụ ụmụ gị, ọ bụ ndị iro ndị ọsọkwa ha bụrụ ezi onye nwe nna Chineke. Tinye nnukwute ọgbaghara n'ime ndụ ha. Ọ bụrụ obodo, tinye nnukwu ọgbaghara n'obodo ahụ. Mee ka ndị iro ha na-anụso ha ọgụ. Ọ bụrụ ụmụ gị, mekwanụ ka obi n'obi na-eme ebe ha nọ. Atụmatụ niile ha tụrụ ka e were isi ha bụrụ, nkata niile ha kpara ka e were isi ha wee bụrụ. Ka ya bụ n'ikpeazụ ka e wee nye gị ekele maka na ndị abịa ka chi anyị ahụ nọ. A na-achị anyị ọchị. Ọ dịghị ihe anyị nwere, ọ dịghị ọzọ anyị nwere abụghị sọsọ nke nwa bụ ezi onye bere. Anyị na-arịọ gị bịa nọnyere anyị n'ụbọchị nke taata na ndụ anyị niile na echiche ndị iro agara enwe isi na Biafra ya abịarịrị. Nwa odibo gị bụ Maazị Nnamdi Kanu ga-apụtarịrị bika ọ nwa bụ onye dụnyere ya njem. A sị onye nna ya dụnyere ozi na-eji ọgba gbawa ọnụ ụzọ, anya ka o ji were ọkpa gbawa ọnụ ụzọ. Ya ka o ji were ekwu okwu na-atụghị ngọngọ ọbụla na-ekwughị otu ahụ o si wee dị. Maka ihe nke ozi onye nwe m, ọ ya apụta John kwala ezinụlọ ya maka ọrụ ọma isi ya dị ya, ọrụ idunye ya ga-abịa rụọ ọrụcha na ya kpọkọnata anaghị ụmụ gị ụwa dị n'ime ebe ha na ọ kpọkọnata na ha ọnụ. Nyezienụ ya Biafra, ọ nkwa nke i kwere anyị nwee ntụkwasị obi na-enye anyị ya, anyị wee na-asị ise 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 ise. Biafra, I just have a few things to say. First of all, the situation we are finding ourselves in, some people say they are confused. You know the reason why we are confused? I remember those days when one will call on the radio and tell our leader, "Oh, I'm confused." Then our leader will said, after he spent so much time listening to gossip, without listening to gossip, what do you expect? After opening your ear, hearing all this crap, soaking it in, why wouldn't you be confused? What our attitudes of our people is abhorred, nothing to write home about. There is nothing different from our attitude from what the Bible said when the Israelites are coming out of Egypt. Our attitude is just next to zero. They are working against their own progress, working against their own interests. If we ask them, they will say we are trying, we want to do everything possible for Biafra to come. But when you direct them, tell them what they are doing is wrong, they do not pay attention. Our leader Mazi Iyke has done everything. On this radio, he swore and said that he will sacrifice anything at all, even his son, if that is what it will take for Biafra to come. And he's ready to do it. And he did all these things. He did all these things. He led us to the gate of Biafra and said, "Keep on going, don't look back, I'm coming. Let me go and get the key." Immediately, he disappeared from our sight. Everything like a hyena. Everybody, everywhere. I do not know who did this to us. The funny thing is that we know where we will go come and get information, but instead, people are just swallowing their stupidity. But the one thing is, anywhere there is a good thing, equally the bad thing, negative and positive, good and bad. We need to focus. What is before us is greater than whatever your PVC, your crap of whatever your election. I know it's a stomach infrastructure. Biafra is greater. Biafra should be where all our focus, all our attention should be. Our future depends on it. I'm not sure if some of you actually do sit back and think and vision how great job opportunity for everybody when Biafra comes. I'm not sure, because if many of us envision it, I'm sure many of us will not embark on this criminality. They wouldn't be listening to all these people, all the confucianists, paid money by the oligarchies to make sure they derail us, to make sure they stop what we are doing. Just exactly what Gawon said after the war. He said, had it been that he knew that Igbos loved money like this, he wouldn't have fought the war. He would have used money for them to destroy themselves. For $100 somebody will jump out and keep on talking rubbish. But I forgot that if you refuse to fight for Biafra, in your next life you come back the same place and more miserable. So if you're in a position to better it, you better make sure you do it proper. Otherwise, when you die and come back again, you find yourself in a greater poverty, and it becomes much, much harder. And you must keep on doing it until you completely do exactly what you were sent to do. It doesn't matter what you think. What matters most is our collective interest. And that our collective interest is to make sure Biafra is restored. Like our leader said, then my job is done. That is his word. We should desist from all this gossiping, flying, making audio, making all these people springing all these mushrooms. It's interesting thing actually, because it's only IPOB that defeat them all. Our leader always said, if you think you can do it, come and try. Every other association, they broke into 50 pieces. They have tried to break IPOB. That is not possible. They have tried and tried and tried, and it's not possible. Rather, all they will do is they will leave and then start murmuring behind, like a mental person. As our leader said, and as it is, IPOB is incorruptible. IPOB as a body is incorruptible. You may find one or two people that is corrupt. You always have such people in the mix. But once IPOB dictate that you are corrupt, it's like a cancer. IPOB cut that off, and then it allows it to reheal. That is our modus of operandi since we started, since 2013 to today. A lot has left IPOB, and many of them are left pushed away by Chukwu Okadiama. And our tournament this year is coming, and by the time we finish, you will see it's always in our history. After our tournament, those that the spirit will send away, they will send them away. Always is cleansed. That is why our leader said, before we came, there was nothing like us, and by the time we gone, they wish there will be people like us. And finally, before I hand over, I want to touch about Ojo Zokalo. The reason I want to touch it is that is very people should pay attention. The reason I want to touch it is not because I'm mocking him or anything, but I just want to show our people, for us to understand how these Fulanis manipulating us and using people to control us. People, they say they are us. The truth of the matter is, Oji Zakalo, his father is a Fulani, his father is a Babangida. And he was his mom is an Igbo from Abia. And Oji Zakalo became the governor at the age of 25 or so. It's by the work of, through the work of his father, he becomes the Igbo governor. And then from there, he becomes the Igbo leader. They came and born these people in our land and then used them to control us because their blood is not pure Igbo blood. That is the point I want to make. I'm not mocking him or for anything, but I just want to deliver a point so we can see and understand where our calamities are coming. He's in Abuja. He said he's in Abuja, and then he said he's a part of Igbo elite, Igbo leaders. Even Ike, his mom was from Kastima. His father is Igbo. We fought against Biafra during Biafra war. All these people are representing Igbo people. So how can they represent you? Their interest is Hausa. Fulani interest. That's who they are representing. But there, growing up in your city, in your village, they handpick them because it's their own. And then impose them on us. And they become our leader by force. I hope I make sense so that we can actually understand things. Tomorrow we say, who is holding us back? Who is doing all these things to us? But actually it's we. Because if we pay close attention, we should understand the way, the pattern, how these people operate. They look 50 years ahead. But the Igbo man or Biafra, they look chap, now, money, now. Nothing like a year ahead. It's just right now. On this note, I will hand over to Mazi Iyke to allow others to speak. Thank you, Mazi Iyke. Back to you.
Thank you, Mazi Former. Thank you for that wonderful opening speech. And clearly, what you said about Oji Zakalo is something everyone should learn from. Because people say that tonight, I would like, first of all, thank our host and Mazi Iyke, and I would like to thank our audience. You come every Wednesday, every week to listen to us, to have this moment with us. And it's very important to us because this is a conscientious journey that we are making, one that history will remember us for. It's a journey of freedom. Every nation that has once fought for freedom will appreciate what we're doing. People in Nigeria, in the zoo, have no idea. They do not understand how to fight and persevere. That is why everyone is jumping up and down today. They like to be carried away, to settle with what I call illusion of freedom, illusion of the idea that miracle will happen somehow when there is a change in government. That's why every 4 years someone comes out to make a promise, and they always buy into it. And then they lament and go through the misery, and some people die, and they barely survive it. And another person, it's 4 years, another person comes out and makes a set of promises that never get delivered completely. It's been a marathon of, it's just a sad and very embarrassing that our people have refused to think. Our people have refused to think. Tonight I just want to focus on something I a friend sent to me, and I was in respect to him. I decided to kind of listen to the video, watch the video briefly before I went to work, and it was a video that Peter B was interviewed recently, and but what caught my attention, which this friend was sending to me, the reason for which this friend sent this video to me that I wanted to talk about. What caught my attention was the fact that Rufus Okonkwo came in and asked a very important, very critical, very vital question. He asked this Labour candidates, political, presidential aspirant, Rufus, I think this is now Rufus Okonkwo, asked him that our leader, our eternal leader, Odumegwu Ojukwu, described Nigeria in the 60s as a vehicle that has no engine, with a dead engine. And he described it that nothing will make Nigeria work because structurally it was dead. That Nigeria had to be renegotiated. It has to be renegotiated, pretty much saying we have to start all over again. But this time, we're going to do it by ourselves. We're going to agree on how we want to do it by ourselves. That's the principle of self-determination, isn't it? For indigenous people to be able to negotiate and agree on the trajectory, on the direction their collective life, existence, collective development should go. That was Duku's idea in the 60s, early 70s too, even after the Biafran War. He made this quote, and this candidate, this our brother, responded, said, yeah, I agree that the engine is dead. And then he asked him, if the engine is dead, if this vehicle, the engine is dead, and you serve, as this candidate said, actually, I have said that in the past too. I said the engine is dead and it does not need a driver. It needs overhaul. So if you had made that comment in the past, what has changed? How come you want to drive a car with engine that is not just malfunction, but that is being declared dead? So how are you going to drive that car? What makes you think you can be a driver of that vehicle? And he says, oh, well, I know and I agree with you that the engine is dead, but I just want to drive it to where it will be looked after and it will be maintained. So saying that I will drive the vehicle and I will take it to the mechanic. You don't need to be a philosopher to be very good with analysis, critical analysis, to know that answer is self-contradictory. If the engine is dead, how can you drive the vehicle? So you agree in principle that the vehicle is dead and the engine is dead and you need to buy a new car. But all of a sudden you're settling with changing a driver and you're going around promising people that you change a driver and the problem is solved. How can the problem be solved if the engine is dead? Oh, miracle, how do you get it to the mechanic? And the interview was quickly cut there. I mean, his time was over. The person that was asking, Rudolph Okonkwo. But I found that very, very interesting because unless you are critically being conscientiously engaging in the debate, in the development, in the zoo, in the political development, unless your consciousness of what IPOB is doing is up to certain level, you will not be able to appreciate when people tell you the truth, when we keep on saying to our people that there is no alternative to Biafra. There is no alternative, absolutely no alternative, because Nigeria is dead. Peter B said it, himself said it. But somehow he wants to make you believe that he's going to perform a miracle. Again, this my mate also sent me a clip where one of our brothers that makes comment on Facebook, I can't remember the page, I think it's called Voice of something, Voice of Power or Voice of the Sun, I think. And this gentleman was giving a historical rundown of how each time this Nigeria is in a makeshift situation. It has always been in a makeshift situation. It's never, the idea of nationhood never really materialized. It's never become a nation since the time of British colonial activity. It's been a makeshift. It means nothing is temporal, nothing is stable. We keep playing around until we get the result we want at some point. And that's why it's a big mess. It's a makeshift situation. It's not stable. It's not reliable. Nothing works. So this gentleman again was analyzing the historical events that had occurred. And he said, I would like to demonstrate to my audience that they should not be so much carried away in the whole campaign and in the whole 2023 election thing. Because each time in the history of Nigeria that an Igbo person had stood up to help and resolve the problem of Nigeria, it has either taken the head of that person and caused Igbo people mayhem, big mayhem. I ran down and he was quite accurate with his analysis. What's his name? Nnamdi, the first president of Nigeria, so-called ceremonial president. All right. So from that time, to all this Kaduna Zone, he just ran across this historical developments, and each time you could see that our people have always made attempt to make Nigeria work, even though they know structurally it cannot work. The reason it's not working is because the structurally, it was not meant, Nigeria was not designed to work. And when we talk about the structural flaw in the Nigerian creation, people don't understand it. Maybe people that did engineering, architecture, they'll be able to understand when you say this is a structural error. When a building has a structural error, we have to bring it down. Well, in Nigeria, people live on it nonetheless. But in the civilized nations in the West, everyone knows that you have to bring it down, must demolish it and rebuild it because it has a structural error. When a car has a structural error, the manufacturers, by law, are required to recall the cars. Doesn't matter how many years you've used it. Once they find out there is a systemic structural error, they will recall the car, they will fix it, or they will compensate you. All the customers. It doesn't mean it could be 2 million cars. They will recall all of them for safety reason. When it comes to the situation of Nigeria, people play emotion into it. I do not understand why an Igbo person in the 21st century will pardon all themselves in Nigeria and be making every effort, but all this effort to fix Nigeria is opening our community up to Fulani terrorists to come in the name of one Nigeria. It's endangering the life of us, life of all of us. Still you jumping out and campaigning for whoever you're campaigning that you believe will make Nigeria work. It is because you are ignorant or you are desperate or you are naive. Because if you are intelligent, you're knowledgeable of the history of what has happened, if you understand, if you are freedom conscious, if you understand what IPOB is doing, if you understand why Nnamdi Kanu is still in the prison and does not want to give up, this thing is fighting. As Mazi Iyke said, if Biafra realize means that you have a choice. You can choose to do your studies to the final level. You can switch jobs, switch careers. You don't have to be pastor. Today, everybody want to be pastor or want to be Madibi or whatever. You don't need to do anything like that. You don't need to be desperate. You don't need to be begging online for Urgent 2K. If you continue to vote people, if you choose maintenance of Nigeria over a brand new nation where you are a stakeholder, as a citizen, you are respected. If you choose a dying Nigeria, if you choose to keep Nigeria on that vegetative state, keep Nigeria on life support by voting whoever you want to vote. If you keep to do that, if you choose to do that, you are ruining the possibilities and the chances of you and the world generation to test the real freedom. You are chasing a shadow. You are chasing an illusion of freedom, an illusion of comfortability. You are chasing that instead of real freedom. You have real freedom when the powers to decide what you do in your life will be handed over to you. The right to self-determination is what IPOB is fighting. Support this activity of IPOB. Support the campaign. Support the struggle for which our leader, Mazi Iyke, is in the prison. Doesn't want to give up. Support this cause for which people have died. My fear is that a lot of us will make a big mistake. Because at the end of the day, we will continue to lose Igbo people. Because those of us that feel that they're smart, they are the ones that sabotage the cause the most. They are always chasing shadow, knowing fully well that there's nothing like Nigeria. Wanting to become slave forever, wanting to maintain the creation of British, a colonial monument. Every other nation wants to break that. Every other continent to move forward, you must break it. You must destroy that which is holding you as slavery. So I would like us tonight to reflect. The person, majority of you are campaigning and cheering, and for whom you have abandoned your stars on Biafra, and you're chasing cloud. That person once said that Nigeria is a dead vehicle. It is a vehicle with a dead engine, agreeing with Ojukwu. And that person now, in a popular interview with Abiola, that has been circulating, someone forwarded to me as I said, that person has also said that even though the engine is dead, that is why I want to campaign so I can become a president and take the vehicle to where it will be fixed. And you ask yourself, the vehicle with engine dead, that's brain dead. You know very well you cannot repair it. You can't fix it. It doesn't matter if you move it to a driver. What you're basically doing is you kicking out a driver that has been driving, trying to drive in a vehicle that has engine malfunction. You're kicking that driver out, you're changing another driver. The problem is not driver, it's not administrative problem. It is a structural systemic problem. And I say this every day because we don't pick it. But I hope we don't make a big mistake that our next generation, that in 20 years' time, we are still talking about the same thing. We are still fighting for this freedom. Because this person will come within 4 years and 8 years, whatever he has done, you have no say as to who comes in to maintain whatever. This is your last time to stick to what favors you, to stick to your freedom. I will stop here and invite one of my colleagues to continue from where I've stopped. I would like to invite Mazi Silas, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, the moderator. Thank you, our listeners all over the world. And thank you, the leadership of IPOB. We pray that our Almighty God, Chukwu Okike Abiyama, look after us, guide us, and lead us to the freedom that we are looking for. Remove us from the shackles of these wicked Nigerian state actors. We are ready and we are willing to do all it takes to liberate ourselves, and that is the message. And the message our leader Mazi Iyke has given is the English people will call it quizzling. Quizzling is when somebody is collaborating with the traitors. This summarizes what we have said up till this stage. And that quizzling word was coined from the man called Quisling himself. He was a Netherlands citizen that collaborated with the German Nazis to invade his own town. So it is not new. It has been happening around the world. There are people who enjoy collaborating with the enemies against their people just because of the little amount of wealth they will be given, and those whatever they receive are negligible to the wealth they would have gotten in a free society of theirs. And it's unfortunate, but we encourage our people to be strong. We encourage our people to support IPOB, the only indigenous protective force ever acquired, ever emerged from the Biafran land since the arrival of the colonial masters about 700 years ago. These Biafrans, the Ipob family, the Ipob leadership, I can tell you, is the only real protective force we have. And the structure of IPOB, their vision, their mission is what has been lacking in the Biafran setting ever since. The stronger the IPOB is, the stronger our people will be. The stronger IPOB is, the more we scare off those invaders. And I will go to the news reaching us today, that there is a secret police squad, I would rather call it an unknown squad, that comes out around 10 p.m. in the night, every night, within Owerri Metropolis. These unknown police squad, I'm calling them unknown because all the security apparatus have denied knowing them. The governor's office have denied knowing them. The police commissioner denied knowing them. The Mopol head, the DSS and all that. But these unknown police squad, they stop young men and women. They search them. They seize whatever property they have on them. Usually it is a smartphone or a laptop if you're driving, or any other thing you have in your vehicle, whether you are on leg or whether you are driving, they will stop you. They will confiscate all these items and ask you, they give you a fake police address to go and get it. Even if it is not fake, go to those address, the police people on duty will deny knowing anything about them. And that is why they are called unknown. So they will deny you access. They will deny you the possession of your items. That is called rob. When they come out around 10 o'clock, they will stop people, they will search them, they will collect whatever they have. And if you insist to have your property, they will ask you to come with them. Along the line, the person will disappear. If you then decide not to follow them and go to the address where they asked you to go and collect your property or make your complaints, they will deny knowing who they are. People have been missing around Owerri and nobody is saying anything. The only place you will hear a report or you will hear this message is on Radio Biafra. And we are the only people that will boldly ask, what is happening to our people? We do have House of Representatives, we do have senators, we do have governors in the Biafran land, we do have other representatives, but they cannot come out and ask this question. Instead, they will quizle. Instead, they will collaborate with the enemy. I mean, we are still in the country called Nigeria. You still have to work with them, but nothing stops you from saying, what is this anomaly happening in our place? Who is stopping and searching our people around 10 a.m.? Do we have a state of emergency imposed? If not, why is this happening here? I mean, a lot more worse, whatever is happening, or incidents happen in the north, northwest, northeast, north central. But we don't hear this sort of incidents. Who are these police in our land? Killing our people. This is not what you know about our land. We don't kill people. In fact, we cherish life. We cherish life up till the elderly. I can tell you, no matter how we have seen or observed that people die, we still do not believe. I will say this openly. The Igbos don't believe that someone will die. That is why if somebody 120 years or more than that dies, they still cry, fell on the ground and roll themselves as if something that doesn't happen has happened. That's how much emotional attachment we have to life. We don't give it up easily. But here we are, before our eyes, watching our young men disappear. There is a reason they are targeting the young men. It is to depopulate the generation of people that will continue living on that land. It is to depopulate the generation of the people who will be capable to resist any attack. And they are calculative. This happened for a while before Abakari was arrested. And during Abakari time, thousands of young Igbo men and women were killed and dumped in some secret graves. A lot were kept in the mortuary and all that. It is all documented by the human rights group that are in Nigeria. Now, we keep wondering, Where are those who claim to be the leaders of our land? Where are they? Why would they let this sort of a thing happen to a great people like ours? Nobody can have answered this question. So the question to the Imo State government, the questions for the Imo State government are: upon receiving these reports, because these have been reported to the Imo State government, upon receiving these reports of an unknown police squads or non-police squads hovering around Owerri and Imo State, what have you done to verify who they are? Because people have taken it upon themselves, went to the police commissioner, DSS, the governor's office, and asked about these people. So what has the governor done about it? And why is it even possible for such a squad to exist without nobody knowing who they are or challenging them? And this brings us back to the issue of sabotage, to the issue of quizzling, to the issue of the leadership collaborating with the enemy. So this has happened several times around the world, but IPOB is here to bring that change. IPOB is here to bring that change. I will encourage all of our youth. I will encourage all IPOB members, all Biafrans, to be steadfast. We are built a strong people. We are built an intelligent group of people, and we are durable, I would say. Never mind that the intensity of the stress our race, the Biafran people, have suffered since the coming of the Europeans, have put us through an enormous emotional problem and somewhat made us a bit paranoid. We are built strong, and eventually we will prevail. I will use one example to stress what I'm trying to say now. Everybody know about the Second Amendment, the United States Second Amendment law that empowers every citizen to carry guns. It is the origin of the Second Amendment is quite long and has lots of history to it. But in a nutshell, the Second Amendment law was crafted out of fear that the freed slaves, or the slaves, those slaves are us, they are our brothers and sisters. Those slaves would overrun them. That was why they were they then enacted a law that allowed everyone to have guns. And at the time this Second Amendment was put in place, even the slaves were not allowed to own guns. But history and the events turned it around that some of the white slave owners who found some slaves, quizzling with them, collaborating with them, empowered those slaves by allowing them to have guns. And eventually, it was those slaves that were used to defeat the British. You would hear that US once fought with the British in order to be free. So those slaves, of course we know 40% of them were taken from our land, because at a point, if you want a strong smart, and durable slave, you went to the southeast of Nigeria through the ports of Calabar and Port Harcourt. That was where the name Oyibo, that's the origin of it. That's a corrupted version of Onyibo. So we are strong, we are smart, and we are durable. Whatever they do, whatever they try to do, we will survive. But we need to be well aware of what is happening. We need to stop quizzling. We need to stop collaborating with the enemy in whatever way. During elections, during anything that they're doing, any person who is truthful to themselves and to our people would have withdrawn from any serious engagement with the Nigeria, because the place is dead. The place is an empty, how would I describe it? No, it's an empty lorry. It's like a big lorry without an engine. That one will be difficult to push, let alone drive. It's a giant made up of different appendages that do not sync together, and you expect it to move. People can be excited. Those who wanted the end SARS movement to have continued, found P2B as a rallying point, and that is why we still see the swelling group of people coming out whenever he's out. But the engine, the vehicle, Nigeria, is broken. It has got no engine. So I don't know how anybody is going to move it. You can't push it. And the people that took the engine away don't even want you to move it from where it is. Change rules, make new rules, get people to comply, provided those rules are not going to take away people's freedom. They will like it. If we have Biafra within this few years that we are working, we will make it under 10 years. We will build it better than any other city that have gotten such independence. It happened before during Michael Opera's reign. The Southeast's economy was the fastest growing economy in the whole world. Now that we have gas, now that the land is still there, we can still plant palm fruit. It is still growing. It is still marketable. Now that everything has been pushed back, we will make sure that we will use both our diaspora connections, both our diaspora income, with the fertile land we have, with the natural resources we have. We will pull all the energies together and build a better West African or African country that the world would pay to go and see. And this is our hope. This is our dream that must be accomplished. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, well spoken. Thank you so much. I hope our listeners are paying attention. You cannot drive a car that has no engine. You say you can, and you put a different driver. It will only take a time, but we will wait. We'll come back to this. At the end of the day, we will all come back to the question of Biafra, which is what our leader Mazi Nnamdi West tells us. I invite Mazi Iyke to present.
Yeah, thank you.
Mazi Iyke, thank you for moderating this evening's program, and our greetings to our continental rep Mazi Ofoma, and also to my able colleague Mazi Silas. Most of us don't just come here to speak to people, we come here to learn. And each time we listen to our people talk on the radio, we learn a lot. Tonight, I've learned that the Second Amendment started as a ploy, and selfish ploy for the imperialists to protect themselves against envisaged trouble they've created. And that's the same thing we are suffering today in that contraption called Nigeria. First, they created the warrant chiefs, who were riffraffs and nobodies that went about pillaging the community, bastardizing our values, all for the white man. They came in the name of Makatkist, destroying our ancestral values, the culture, the traditions, the identity of our people. And through them, they were able to, immerse our people in the ocean of deception that we are still swimming today. It is what they did that gave birth to people standing on the pulpits today and telling lies. It is what they did to our culture before we believed in retribution. We believed in whatever you do, you get the consequences immediately. If you are a married woman and you live against the norms of your society, you get the actions. If you are a man and you maltreat or abuse your wife, you get immediate sanction, both from the community and from your family. But today, what do we have? We have a society that is governed by mere spiritual stuff that no one can explain. They tell you, oh, God will judge. Oh, God will judge them. God will punish them. And you are looking at the people who are your problem prospering. You are looking at the politicians, just like it happened back then. The warrant chiefs were nobody, and the villagers believed, okay, God will punish them. Oh, they are now doing it, God will punish them. And the white man was buying stuff for them. They were living better. They lived in the white man's house. The same thing applies today. You see the politicians stealing from you, and you keep saying God will punish them and God will punish them. But they are the ones enjoying life, and you are waiting for God to punish them, and the devil is punishing you, using the politicians to punish you. So our life has been changed by our incursion with these people, and it continues to be so. Why are we here on Radio Biafra? It is for us to reawaken ourselves and bring our people to the primal understanding that our identity, our life has been stolen. This is what happens if you live in a house and you know your property, and you come back to your house one day and you did not see your property. What do? Do you go back to sleep and say, oh, it doesn't matter, I don't even need that thing? Or do you wake up and go and look for that item that's been stolen? This is the situation we found ourselves. Our identity, the content of our life, the content, we are just containers. The content of our life has been stolen. What do? Do you just say, let's leave it to God? Or do you wake up to recover and retrieve from the enemy that identity which has been stolen? Like I say to our people, if you do not listen to Radio Biafra, you are doing a disservice to yourself. You are cheating yourself. Yesterday or early this morning, if I beg each and every one of us to go back to Radio Biafra, go back and listen to that program by Mazi Jonathan, Madam Miriam Hada, and Mazi Obinna Metosela Nwane Melchizedek. It was explosive that all of us learned something. We learned what's keeping us down. The ignorance of our people. It is manifesting in so many areas of our life. The ignorance. Your life has been changed. Your life has been debased by people, and you do not know it. Now, some people do know it, but they are in the process of what we call learned learned helplessness. They do not know what to do. And that is why IPOB is here. But the worst of the worst are people who know that the essence of their life has been taken away from them, yet they are not doing anything to recover what has been stolen from them. We need to wake up and do the needful. Most of us, in practical terms, most of us are not where we are supposed to be today. Let's go in the line of academics. Most of us, when we were in secondary school, let me leave the primary school, the primary education. When you were in the secondary school, you hated your math teacher, or you don't like mathematics, and you said, oh, I don't like mathematics. And you know you were supposed to be an engineer or a doctor or a nurse or anything that needed you to do good in mathematics. So you weren't ignorant of it. You knew
it was essential, it was required, it was a requirement for you to succeed in life, yet you did nothing about it. Now it is not ignorance. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, standing on the foundation of our eternal leader, Mazi Odumegwu Ojukwu, has taken away the cloak of ignorance from us. Any person today who is of a Biafran nation, who belongs to our creed and our identity, that says, oh, I'm ignorant of what's happening, I'm ignorant, I don't know, is telling a lie, a blatant lie. So we all know now, but the problem that we have right now is our ability to act on it. That is why our leader would say, indiscipline is our undoing. The black man can never be disciplined. When you are disciplined, they call you wicked. Wickedness and indiscipline is not the same thing. I remember when we were in school, you come to class and your teacher is teaching you and you are making a noise, and he goes, stand up. You go, oh, that wicked teacher. No, he is teaching you the way of life. But for an African, oh, he's a wicked teacher. He prefers the one that allows them to play, pay no attention, they come to class, he doesn't care, oh, they don't do their homeworks or whatever. He doesn't give a damn. That's the one Africans like. They tell you, oh, he's a good teacher. Our undoing has been indiscipline. And our leader says in IPOB, the thing that we hold dear to us is discipline. Discipline is what makes you to wake up at night to do your work. Discipline is what makes you to wake up in the middle of the night to burn your midnight candles, to learn that hard subject, to solve those problems before you, to prepare for your examination. That is discipline, and that is the way to succeed. Why are we saying this over and over and over again? Because our people do not want to put in the work. I tell you, Biafra can be realized under 24 hours if our people put in the work. If our people rise up and put in the work. The story has it that it took only a few days for India to regain their independence, because all of them were told one word: do not go to work, and they all obeyed. That takes discipline. To our people, if that same command comes out today, you will see people saying, Onya nenye munli, Onya mepelon shop, Onya yazolo momom. Because we are human beings that believe in the now. we don't think about the future. The population of Biafra land is 10 times so many countries in Europe. Austria has only 9 million people. Switzerland, not more than 20. All of them combined, we can count up to 7 countries in Europe before we get the population of Biafra. But what are these human beings doing? They are chasing shadows, and that is our problem. It is not ignorance. It is not stupidity. It is our inability to act, to act in concert, in concord to a given command and direction. I'm saying this tonight so that our people will understand that our future is in our hands. It is left for us what we do with it. Mazi Nnamdi has paid the ultimate price. He cannot sacrifice more than he has done. He has sacrificed family, friendships, intimacy, wholesomeness, community life, everything you can count off. He has sacrificed it just for you to stand up and say, I now realize who I am, and I am going to work towards bringing my destiny to fruition. This is why IPOB is here. This is why we stay awake at night to talk to you. This is why so many people amongst us, they forsake their work. This is why so many people are volunteering and have volunteered, have sacrificed their lives for this cause, because they've realized. I will say it again. If you do not listen to Radio Biafra, if you do not listen to these presenters, if you do not every day listen to the voice of Ohamadike, you are doing yourself a great disservice. The life we live today, our ancestors fought for our identity. They fought to preserve our life. That land you are living today, that land you are buying today and building on, that language you are speaking today, that identity you are wearing today, you come out, you brag, I'm an Igbo. I am a Biafran. Somebody fought and died for it. For 40 years, the Ekumeku resistance, they fought to preserve you. Today, we know people. We know what happened to the American Indians. We know what happened here in Tasmania. We know what happened to the Aborigines of Canada. We know what the English did here in Australia. and so many other nations. That was what they planned for our people. But these men, my great ancestors, who one day will welcome us that are fighting today, they fought to preserve and to protect you against the sophisticated guns of the Englishman. The Englishman came with gun in one hand and Bible on the other hand to physically annihilate you and to spiritually bastardize you. Who is a bastard? A person who doesn't know the Father. It's not possible for a child to be born without a father. But there is people that are called bastards because they don't know their father. The white man came with his religion on one hand to bastardize you, to take you away from your God, from Chukwu Kikabiama, who created you, gave you the days of the week. Nyege kenye goli, nyege nkwo, nyege afo. Kelu gigwe kelo gana. Nyege nli neli. He came and took that away from you and made you a bastard. You lost your connection to your God. And then, on the other hand, he gave you the gun to annihilate your physical body. And today, our people do not yet realize the debacle that we found ourselves in. Because they do not look beyond today. My father will always say to me, "No onye ma ife ga-eme tata amaghị ife. No onye ma ife ga-eme echi bụ onye ma ife." Because it takes perception for you to read tomorrow, to take account of today, to make sense of tomorrow. And that is why it is disheartening to see our people today not understanding, not knowing the sacrifices that's been made by our ancestors to preserve our life. Today, we have people who are selling that pride for a mincemeat. The pride of our ancestral heritage for a morsel of meat. And like our people, my colleagues already said, it is because most of these people are not our people. Because they do not come from the loins of our ancestors. We need to be wise as the serpent. We need to be wise. This is the time for us to act. And if we don't act now, as I'm telling the stories of my ancestors to you today, in time to come, what will your posterity, your grandkids, what will
they tell about our generation? I want to read what a white lady said. Her name is Ayn Rand. See, when you see corruption being rewarded and honesty becoming a self-sacrifice, you may know that your society is doomed. You see the politicians flying about, being rich, respected, but you see professors, teachers of knowledge who stay on the street. They don't get their pension. They are not being paid for years of work. And if they complain, they tell them they are going to proscribe them, because they do not even understand the language, the meaning of proscribe. You want to proscribe an academic body in charge of the university, a union. You cannot pay them for fees, and you call that a country. In Nigeria, a 14-year-old cannot be admitted into university to study, but a 13-year-old can be married. A school certificate holder cannot become a director in the civil service, but a school certificate holder can become president of the entire country. The country is among the major oil producing countries of the world, but it imports the fuel it consumes. The country has the highest number of foreign doctors in the UK and USA, but its leaders travel abroad for medical needs. The country shoots armless protesters, but hold peace parleys with bandits. The country rehabilitates terrorists, giving them slots in the national army, in the national police. But their victims are languishing in refugee camps, in IDPs. The life we live is a mirage, and until we come to realize that we need to change, to stand up, speak up, and fight, then our redemption will not come. I want to end with this story. God has finished his business with man and earth. He has no business again here. Why? Because he created, rested, and delegated. He said to man, take this place, take care of it,
do whatever you want to do with it, dominate it, be the king over it. So if you're waiting for God to come and answer your prayer, to come and change your nation for you, you are waiting in vain. You are waiting in vain. It is your call, it is your duty to act and bring to fore the potentials that is in you. If you don't do that, God is not coming to do anything for you. The enemy will kill you. The Fulanis will butcher you. And God will not come down. I tell you, God will not come down. They will butcher you the same way they've butchered so many. I know past that's been butchered, and I saw them being buried in pieces. God did not come down. I'm not telling you hearsay. I know. Butchered, cut into pieces. God did not come down. Were they crying and believing, oh, God will come and do it? Yes. Did God come? No. And that is what awaits you if you do not stand up today and act. If you do not stand up today, tomorrow, the Fulani marauders might be dancing on your grave. To and on. Mazi, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Mazi Iyke. Wonderful contribution. We have a responsibility to restore our land. It's your responsibility. I invite our last speaker for tonight, Mazi Iyke. Make your contribution.
Good day, Biafrans. Am I coming out clearly?
Yes, Mazi.
Thank you. Good day, Biafrans, wherever you are, east, west, north, and south. We bring you good news. My colleagues have they've been able to say most of the things. Oh, you know, we don't get tired here in the midst of in disbursing and disseminating the gospel of redemption. We never get tired. We never get tired of hearing what we ought to hear. So once again, we're coming live to you to remind you that we're not free yet. So we're not stopping. We have to. There are, as our leader had said countless times, that it is in times of difficulty that we test our resolve, that we test our religiosity, our followership in these very movements. So this is the time to exemplify that. So that's why we're here. We're not going back. We're not stopping. We can only stop when we are free. You need to always remind yourself of that. We are going to stop what we are doing only when we are free. So if we are not free, why are we stopping then? Another question we need to ask ourselves, is the enemy stopping? No, they're not stopping. You are well aware that they are not. The enemy is plotting. The enemy is organizing. The enemy is doing everything to stop us. So it is left to us. It is up to us if the enemy will prevail. So now, for those of you who call yourself men and women who believe in this very struggle, it's up to you. Is the enemy going to prevail against us? Is the enemy going to prevail against light? If you represent light, then you say no. Then you have to stand up. Not just saying no, you have to stand up. By standing up, we mean that you have to be doing something. Regardless, no matter how little. Something as tiny as staying on Twitter. Something as tiny as making your contributions if you're in diaspora. Something as tiny as connecting with politicians in your various jurisdictions, relating with members of parliament in different places where you are resident. Something as tiny as making sure that the message of redemption is at the front foot. So something as tiny as following the laid down rules in this struggle, respecting the leadership until our leader is out. Whatever gripe, whatever complaints you have, but in the meantime that he's not with us, we have to follow what he laid down. If the thing, it doesn't matter the shape of it. If it comes out, we present it back to him and say, this is what you laid back. So we have been following, we can't deviate. In saying that, we are deploying our senses. We are not allowing emotions drive us. So that is what we're saying. So you must be doing something. I reiterate, you must be doing something. Freedom is a collective effort. If you leave this freedom to those of my colleagues, these very resolute ones, the continental rep of Australia and the rest of the continental rep that are very active, and all these coordinators that are always present here every Wednesday, making sure that this very platform is ongoing. If we leave it just for them, if our redemption is supposed to be tomorrow or next year, so it requires people. So we must participate. Wherever you are, you must participate. If you're in Biafra land, there are others. You must be listening to Radio Biafra and all legitimate media that disperse information relating to our struggle. You must be participating. So, in saying that again, we are not going to stop. We will continue to do all that is necessary to be free. When somebody stops you on the road, when somebody wants to get a bit of an idea why you are doing what you are doing, why we are pursuing this very noble cause, tell them that we are not free. That's why we are doing what we are doing. We are living in diaspora because where we come from is completely hopeless. It's a mess to begin with. It's a complete, I can't describe it, to say the least. Anybody you see running around bragging or feeling pompous about themselves, how they live in London, how they live in New Jersey, these are a bunch of slaves. If you are a human being, you will be in your village. Personally, because I think I am an animal, that is why I'm fighting for Biafra. Biafra will demonstrate that I am a human being. That is why I'm doing it. We cannot be bribed. You know, our leader said that when men listen to this gospel, they are going to come. We have come. We cannot be, it does not matter how much. How much can you give us to abandon our emancipation, the future of our children? You don't know that everything born of the woman will die? Everything born of the woman will certainly die. How you choose to die is what determines if you're a man or a mouse. That's our leader that said it. For us, we have found the key. We have found the path. We cannot derail from it. Yare tetola one day, signa na mama ze me Biafra. Hey, I am a project manager. Mara pusi nke yiga kezi nkembe mwe mara tetola asigna ma pusi yenne mara pusi. We cannot stop. Now you know. I repeat, our leader said that when men listen to this very gospel, they are going to come. We felt this gospel. It was like a Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost. Now, monster that was a muddy. It fell on us. The first day I know, way back before we came to Australia, we heard it, and then we jumped on the bandwagon. That's why we are here. That's why we are here. We cannot stop. Nothing on Tetulature. It won't have phone. Sino keken taungo. That is a hair. Imana manos ya. Manan Tetula de kume. Makachi. I am at the forefront. I don't need. So we will not stop. We want to let you know that you cannot stop as well. You yourself, you cannot stop. How? Why will you stop? Our continental reps in his speech today. If you don't do it now, when you are born, when you reincarnate, you come back here. The struggle is waiting for you now because you didn't fight it. This is a golden opportunity for us to take this to a successive end. This generation, we will not find them again in the history and in the lives of our people. Finally selected. Men will fall by the wayside. Now. Those who understand where we're going, when you listen to them, you will know now. He would bribe will be our side. Before we cannot be bribed. We don't have friends. You can't come closer unless you are an IPOB. So we will not stop. Oh, can I get a glimpse of what we represent? Everything. We can't say everything. Said what we represent is deeper. All the very, very deep. But we are just, we are just on the corner. We are just on the corner. Some of us, some of the, very common things and, usual things that drive other people don't drive us. Whether you call it religion or, it doesn't drive us. Because we understand the men who understands the journey, they can see the end from the beginning. They understand that the constitution of every country where you live, there were men, very resolute men that made it possible. Philosophers, those who can see 500 years into the future, the constitution. The ability to envisage what the possibility of changes in your society, the possibilities of the events of the day, and the changes in time. You think so far ahead. Just the same thing we do in engineering here. When we place risk and assess it, we think the farthest, the hardest. What is the most probable condition or circumstance that can eventuate in designing this very structure? That's what we do in engineering. So that is how constitutions are written. When you hear a first or second amendment and the rest of them, people lay down that rule. Other people, because of changes in time, they now come and then amend it here and there just to suit the times. We understand where we're going. We will continue. No individual coming in the guise of politics or politicians, will distract us. We know some of our people have fallen by the wayside. Like I said, those who are not firm, their foundation in this very struggle is not rooted. So they will fall by the wayside. But again, everything happens for a reason. We wait for them at the end of the road. So they will come, they will go and realize, and then they will understand their folly. So no individuals will derail us. No group of persons coming in the guise of whatever it is called, they choose to call it, will derail this very honorable and ordained struggle championed by our leader. We will continue. Our leader has raised men, and we are very, very loyal to this struggle, and we respect our leader for how much he has taught us, how much he's laid down, and how much he's sacrificed. He's teaching us immortality. What our leader is, you cannot bribe him. You want to how to be immortal. How to be immortal, life on a quizy line, and we have learned it. Some of us will be very deep, I be very deep, and we are not religious, so but I just you know. So we will continue. We will continue to do all that is necessary to be free. We understand that freedom cannot be given on a platter of gold. We understand that. We understand that freedom requires your effort, it requires resoluteness, it requires conviction, decency, education, and unflinching resolve. And that is what we are driving on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, never. Unless me on a phone as so we will continue. We want to encourage you wherever you are, your time in different time zones, wherever you're resident. We want to encourage you, continue. Remember that it is a collective effort. If you choose to fall by the wayside, the redemption that is meant to come today will delay another year. So it's up to you. But for the rest of us, we will stay on it now because we are not free. So we encourage you, continue to do, if you know what is required to be done, if you know what needs to be done, please continue to push that, continue to do it, continue to participate in terms of your finances, in terms of your meetings, in terms of your gatherings, continue to do it. We are going to be free. There is no, if you look at the amount of men, the type of men our society produces this day, and then actually, hey, I want to make it, I want to drive a car, I want to, if you see the type of, and then actually, men, the type of society that are men turn out these days are not men. So, what we have in this very struggle are men. If we lose this very opportunity to salvage ourselves and emancipate ourselves, we won't have that opportunity again. So this is that we are living in a golden time. So this is the time. We must continue. We will not stop. Remember, our leader is there. Come on. Our leader is there. He is not stopping. So, and he has taught us, and we continue. So that is what we are doing. So Biafrans, I believe you've heard it loud. We've tried to get you to understand that these things require sacrifice, and we're not going to backtrack. I don't want to stress it any further. I would like to hand over to my colleague, and then we hope to see you guys to talk to the Biafran family once again next week, Wednesday. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Mazi Iyke, for wonderful contribution. Just to wrap it up, I would like to thank again our audience for joining us tonight, as you do every Wednesday, every week. Thank our host, thank my contributors to tonight's program. We've said a lot, but our people said, we do all these things, as my colleague Iyke said, because of our commitment, our love for Biafra, our love for our freedom, and our commitment, absolute commitment, to make sure that Biafra comes in our lifetime. There's no other language we speak other than Biafra. That's why we're here tonight. That's why you join us every Wednesday. And we invite you to join us once again next week. Thank you for tonight. Now, Maz, I hand over to you. Thank you for having us.
All right, thank you so much. This is Radio Biafra, USA 2. We are hosting the Australians, and thank you for your program. We hope to see you again next week at the same time here. All right, time is up already, so we don't really have much to say except to tell you to stay tuned, because Mazi Iyke is going to come in next. Radio Biafra is consistent. We are ready. Anytime you are ready, we are ready. So make sure that you stay tuned for our USA 1 that is coming in, like I told you before. And before I go, I want to remind you something that is very important. They already said everything. There is nothing to add, but to keep reminding you that Biafra for us, what does it mean? Biafra for us is our religion. And if you are consistent with what we are doing, like our leader always say, we are here to actualize our nation. And anything they do to stop us be fruitless, and they're wasting their time, because we are consistent, very, very consistent. We know what we want, and that thing we want is Biafra. The only election we're interested in is a referendum, plebiscite, call it that, whatever name you give it. But Elizabeth, or same thing, or so we put in our life into what we are doing, and we're not going to stop. One more time, I say thank you for listening, and this is Radio Biafra. Don't forget that Biafra for us means our religion. And stay tuned, don't go away. Mazi Iyke is next.
Lies our religion, the last hope we have.
Where are my socks, man? Let me feel it. Sample. I like the way you do blow. Now so it don't clear for their eyes. Janja we, Biafra we come like this. Them never know say Biafra we come like this. Them never know. Biafra we come like this. Them never saw this Biafra we come like this. Them never realize Biafra we come like this. Them never know. Biafra we come like this. Them never know say Biafra we come like this. I say them never know say no. Biafra we come like this. They never know. Biafra we come like this. Sometimes I wonder why some people just dey money themselves. Nigerian government, they just dey yeye themselves. They just dey fight where them done lose. I love my Biafra. Biafra is my nation. I say I love my Biafra. Whether rain or sun, I go dey in Biafra. I go live in Biafra. Na him I want you, na him they give me assure you. Now he my love way, Biafra is my portion. They never know say Biafra will become like this. I say they never know say Biafra will become like this. They never know Biafra will become like this. They never know say Biafra will become like this. 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 They never know say Biafra will become like this. They never know say Biafra will become like this. They never know, they never know, they never know, they never know, they never know. Biafra will become like this. Biafra no, Biafra wake up. The land way full with honey and milk. The land way full with wisdom. You never know, you still dey sleep. You never know, you still dey sleep in zoo. Before you realize, oga, we don pass you. No dey do gra gra for wetin you know you don lose. No dey do shekeleke for wetin you know you don lost. You never know say Biafra will become like this. You never know say na nya na na Biafra will become like this. Brother, oka dey make it now rock. Biafra will become like this. They never know say Biafra will become like this. They never sabi say Biafra will become like this. Janja wait, they never know Biafra will become like this. I say Biafra will become like this. Biafra will become like this. I say Biafra will become like this. I say Biafra will become like this. See those who plan evil against us as fall. Then leaves and bees and forest come enter our land. They say na python dance. They say na crocodile smile. They say na army checkpoint. They come send their herdsmen. Waiting we do them all. Waiting they happen. We be freedom fighters. We don't want to wahala. Make una carry una trouble go. Now we don't live now. They never know say Biafra will become like this. I say they never sabi say yo yo. Biafra will become like this. They never know say Biafra will become like this. You see they beat them like dream for audio. Biafra will become like this. They never know say anya nana. Biafra will become like this. Anya alabago, anya efewego, anya ekebago. Biafra will become like this. I say they never know say Biafra will become like this. They never know, they never know, they never know, they never know, they never know. Biafra will become like this. They never know say Biafra will become like this. Sampe, aso. Tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have. Because I have myself. Don't think say na defense. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see. Yeah, unless you have the sense. You go like to pretend. Do not run away. Kind of sober than you. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I am. How una dey? I don't come to speak my mind. With no delay, let them know say una eyes clear about una way. Watch out! Many things dey happen in that country you dey. So, some people trouble upon people every day. Even when you dey, you go talk say you know dey. I need to understand why this one happens. I need to understand why this truth happens. The promise that we got and nationalize. The promise we will live and no complaints. Somebody watch me far away. Watch me far away. See me far away. Tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have. Because I have myself. Then think say na defense. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see. Yeah, unless you have the sense. You go like to pretend. Do not run away. Kind of sober than you. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I am. Kind of sober than you. Samara, ta. Kick the I come back again to tell people say, now here we dey. We don't come to stay. I say no retreat, no surrender. We're living big, but no arrange. Look at the soldiers killing innocent Biafrans every day. Look at the Islamists killing innocent Christians every day. You depend me, you depend me, you depend me. Chupoki kofiama, patera nyose yemaka, patera nyose yemaka. I know ginaka, that is why I say, that is why I talk, that is why I know. That is why I say, that is why I talk, that is why I know. Mazi Nnamdi Muhammad Ikewa Biafra niile anyị si gị gaba n'iru onye aka ya dọcha were ife na-eme onye nna ya na-eju n'oyi na-ejukwu amawaja. You are whiter than snow. Okwu gị bụ eziokwu. We stand where you stand. We say no secret trial. Onyinye Chukwu Ezosika Osiki Muhammad Iyke, no secret trial. Prophet Yahweh's young Osiki Muhammad Iyke, Osike Jisike Matus Ejike Kole Osike Wande Buje Bije Sikwa Oweli Feneme Oweli Fenafia Oweli Fenako Esi Wande Victor Chimezie Okorochukwu Igbo Network Television London Osike Jisike na abụghị n'azụ ụmụ Biafra niile nke dị n'ụwa Osike gaba n'iru no secret trial no secret trial no secret trial no secret trial. Watch me far away, see me far away. Tell me what you saw, I will show you what I have. Because I have myself, oh, then things say na defense, oh. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, oh, you go let to pretend, oh. Do not run away. I know somebody, oh. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I talk. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I know. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I talk. That is why I say, that is why I say, that is why I know.
Compris, Sampe, IPOB, IPOB, IPOB. Yes, so I don't come again. No election in Biafra land, whether they like it or not. Makonye to election, on Abuja Hausa. Sampe, Biafra nine. Election, when they talk about we say election, when they talk about white people need it. When they talk about we say election, when they talk about election, when they talk Nigerian no bayara, Adi chọrọ nke anyị. No referendum, no election in all Biafra land. Maka onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Ọsụ n'ugwu anyị, unu kwụsị anyị no election. Onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu na wise. No election, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Igbo niile, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Mere ntị, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Ekwurekwu mere ọnụ, onye tụọ vootu na wise. No election, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Sampe, kwage ntị ka ngwunu. Ọkwa maka na onye isi anyị bụ Mazi Nnamdi Kanu siri onye atụla vootu. Ka ndị su niile ji na-agbagharaghara. Ndị ọha na eze ndị Igbo, ndị okenye alụrụ ala. A wee fụ eziokwu a ga-ekwu a na-egbudi ya iru na maka ego ndị su. Ndị ọchịchị anyị bụ ndị asị na-egotewa anyị wee gara anyị wee na-egbu ka ọkụkọ maka na anyị na-ekpere Chukwu okike abịa ma. Ihe mmadụ na onye tụọ vootu ọ na ugwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu na wise. No election, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Igbo niile, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Mere ntị, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Ekwurekwu mere ọnụ, onye tụọ vootu na wise. No election, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu na ugwu Hausa. Ọkasị na ọsọ tụba nwata, ọ naba be ya, maka na udene ka nke ọbụla ọgwụ.
Genti Kambunu. Ọmọbọnyi na ndị Hausa, ọbịa barozi manja. Igbo genti Kambunu. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ nọ n'Enugu. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ nọ n'Aba. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ nọ n'Anambra. Mana ndị Igbo na-alụ nọ na Sokoto. Mana ndị Igbo na-alụ nọ na Abuja. Tatanụ ka idozi ebe anyị. Maka na nke mụ bụ nke mụ. Maka na nke mụ bụ nke mụ. Onye ọsọ chụbalụ ya na-ababe ya. Ka anyị dozie ebe anyị. Anyị na ndị Hausa bụrụ okwu. Ndị na-enwe ọgụ n'igbu mmadụ. Anyị na ha bụrụ okwu. Maka onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Asị m onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụsa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ndị Igbo niile. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Anụrụ anụ mere ntị. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ekwuru ekwu mere ọnụ. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụsa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ndị Igbo niile. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Anụrụ anụ mere ntị. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ekwuru ekwu mere ọnụ. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụsa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. The triple IE. IPOB. 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 Yes, so I don't come again. No election in Biafra land, whether they like it or not. Makonye to election, Onabugwa Hausa. Tampe, Biafra nine. Onye to vote Onabugwa Hausa. No election. Onye to vote Onabugwa Hausa. No election. Onye to vote Onabugwa Hausa. Ndị Igbo nine. Onye to vote Onabugwa Hausa. Anụrụ mere ntị. Onye to vote Onabugwa Hausa. Ekwuru ekwu mere ọnụ. Onye to vote Onabugwa Hausa. No election. Onye to vote Onabugwa Hausa. No election. Onye to vote Onabugwa Hausa. Ọkwa nwata chọba nke ya. Ọbụla chọkwa. Sokwu anyị kwuru n'ọnụ. Mana ndị izu ji na-agba gharaghara. Nigeria nọrọ n'ọgba aghara. Anyị chọrọ nke anyị. No referendum. No referendum. No election. In all Biafra land. Maka onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Ọsụ unu bụ anyị. Unu bụzi anyị. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụsa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ndị Igbo niile. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụsa. Anụrụ anụ mere ntị. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ekwuru ekwu mere ọnụ. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụsa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Sampe gwaga ntị ka ngwa unu. Ọkwa maka na onye isi anyị bụ Mazi Nnamdi Kanu siri onye atụla vootu. Ka ndị isi niile ji na-agba gharaghara. Ndị ọha na eze ndị Igbo ndị okenye alụrụ ala. Ha wee fụ eziokwu a ga-ekwu a na-egbudi ya iru na maka ego ndị isi. Ndị ọchịchị anyị bụ ndị asị legotewa anyị wee gara anyị wee na-egbufe ọkụkọ. Maka na anyị na-ekpere Chukwu okike abịa ma. Ihe mma bụ na onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụsa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ndị Igbo niile. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Anụrụ anụ mere ntị. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ekwuru ekwu mere ọnụ. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụsa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. No election. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-awụkwu Hausa. Ọha si n'ọsọ chụba nwata. Ọ nababe ya. Maka na udene ka nke ọbụla ọgwụ. Genti Kambunu. Ọrụ anyị na ndị Hausa. Ọbịa barozi manja. Ndị Igbo genti Kambunu. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ nọ n'Enugu. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ nọ n'Aba. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ nọ n'Anambra. Mana ndị Igbo na-alụ nọ na Sokoto. Mana ndị Igbo na-alụ nọ n'Abuja. ndị Hausa bụrụ okwu, ndị na-enwe ọgụ n'igbu mmadụ, anyị na ha bụrụ okwu. Maka onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa, asị m onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Ndị Igbo niile, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Anụrụ anụ mere ntị, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Ekwuru o mere ọnụ, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. No election, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Ndị Igbo niile, onye tụọ vootu ọ na-abụkwu Hausa. Anụrụ anụ mere ntị.
Oh na 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 na. Watch it out. Watch me far away, see me far away. Shabada, tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have, because I have myself. Don't think say na defense. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, go like to pretend. Do not run away. Kind of sober than you. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I come. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I am. I don't come to speak my mind. With no delay, let them know say una eyes clear about una way. Watch out, many things they happen in that country you dey. So some people trouble upon people every day. Even when you dey, you go talk say you know dey. I need to understand why this one happen. I need to understand why the truth apart. The promise that we got and nationalize. The promise we will live and no complaints. Watch me far away. Watch me far away. See me far away. Tell me what you saw. I will show you what I have. Because I have myself. Then think say na defense. Make you watch my back. Now wait till you they see, yeah. Unless you have the sense, you go like to pretend. Do not run away. Kind of sober than you. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I talk. That is why I say. That is why I say. That is why I am. I was over that you. Samara, cha cha cha, kick the floor. See, I come back again to tell people say, and I hear we day. We don't come to stay. I say no retreat, no surrender. We're living big, but no arrange. Look Look at the soldiers killing innocent Biafrans every day. Look at the students killing innocent Christians every day. It depends me, oh, it depends me, oh, it depends me, oh. Chupoki kobiama, patera nyose yemaka, patera nyose yemaka. I know ginaka, that is why I say, that is why I talk, that is why I know. That is why I say, that is why I talk, that is why I Mazi Nnamdi Nnamdi Biafra niile anyị si gị gaba n'iru onye aka ya dị ọcha were ife na-eme onye nna ya na-eju n'ohi na-ejukwu amawaja you are whiter than snow okwu gị bụ eziokwu we stand where you stand we say no secret trial onyinye chukwu ezosika osiki Nnamdi Iyke no secret trial prophet with your osiki Nnamdi Iyke osiki jisike matus ejike kole osiki wale buje bije sikwa oweli feneme oweli fenafio oweli fenako esi wale Victor Chimezie Okorochukwu Igbo Network Television London osiki jisike na abụghị n'azụ ụmụ Biafra niile nke dị n'ụwa asiki gaba n'iru no secret trial no secret trial no secret trial no secret trial watch me far away see me far away tell me what you saw I will show you what I have because I have myself oh then think say na defense oh make you watch my back now wait till you dey see yeah unless you have the sense oh you go learn to pretend oh do not run away I know somebody oh that is why I say that is why I say that is why I talk that is why I say that is why I say that is why I know that is why I say that is why I say that is why I talk that is why I say that is why I say that is why I know
Compris, Pampe, IPOB, IPOB, IPOB. Yes, so I don't come again. No election in Biafra land, whether they like it or not. Makonye to election, on Abuja Hausa. Pampe, Biafra nine. Election, when they talk about we say election, when they talk about white people need it, when they talk about when they talk about we say election, when they talk about election, when they talk Nigeria no bayara, adi chọrọ nke anyị
election. We say no election. Wadi Igbo niile. Anụmanụ mere ntị. Ekwurekwu mere ọnụ. We say no election. Biafrans no election. Something. Kwageti ka ngwunu. Ọkwa maka na onye isi anyị bụ Mazi Nnamdi Kanu siri onye atụla vootu ka ndị Su niile ji na-agbagharaghara. Ndị ọha na eze ndị Igbo ndị okenye alụrụ a wee fụ eziokwu a ga-ekwu a na-egbudi ya iru na maka ego ndị Su. Ndị ọchịchị anyị bụ ndị asị na-egotewa anyị wee gara anyị wee na-egbute ọkụkọ maka na anyị na-ekpere Chukwu okike abịa ma ihe mma bụ na onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Hausa. No election. We say no election. Wadi Igbo niile. Anụmanụ mere ntị. Ekwurekwu mere ọnụ. We say no election. Biafrans no election. Ọma si n'ọsọ tụba nwata ọ naba be ya maka na udene ka nke ọbụla ọgwụ. Gee ntị ka m kwunu. Ọrụ anyị na ndị Hausa ọbịa barọzi ma ncha. Ndị Igbo gee ntị ka m kwunu. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ ụlọ n'Enugu. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ ụlọ n'Aba. Ifunugo onye Hausa lụrụ ụlọ n'Anambra. Mana ndị Igbo na-arụ ụlọ na Sokoto. Mana ndị Igbo na-alụ ụlọ na Abuja. Tatanụ ka anyị dozie ebe anyị maka na nke mụ bụ nke mụ. Maka na nke mụ bụ nke mụ. Onye ọsọ tụbalụ ya na-ababe ya. Ka anyị dozie ebe anyị. Anyị na ndị Hausa bụrụ okwu. Ndị na-enwe ọgụ n'igbu mmadụ. Anyị na ha bụrụ okwu. Maka onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Hausa. Masị ma onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Hausa. Onye tụọ vootu ọ naba ugwu Hausa. No election. We say no election. Wadi Igbo niile. Anụmanụ mere ntị. Ekwurekwu mere ọnụ. We say no election. Biafrans no election. Biafra niile. No election. We say no election. Wadi Igbo niile. Anụmanụ mere ntị. Ekwurekwu mere ọnụ. We say no election. Biafrans no election. The triple IE. Something.
Ordinarily rendition, and we are waiting for their trial. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi is where he is. It's for our sake. I keep mentioning it, and I want to arouse the thinking capabilities of our people. What exactly are we pursuing? Freedom. As I mentioned earlier, that there are people one leg in Biafra, one leg in Nigeria. It's not going to happen. You're a Biafran, you're a Biafran. You're a Nigerian, you're a Nigerian. And this one leg here, one leg there is very, very deceitful. And the invisible hands that are stirring up our problems, many invisible hands are becoming visible. People promising you billions. If this person wins, that person wins. That is involving in political activities that you shouldn't. you are trying to turn the will of the people by influencing the outcome of the election. It's illegal. If US is conducting election and the Nigerian says we are going to give you all 90 billion if such and such wins, what do you think will happen? They are influencing the outcome of the election, which is violation of the law. Nobody should influence the outcome of election illegally, and this is one of them. These are the people that have their eye cast on the resources of Biafra land. Nothing goes for nothing. Nothing goes for nothing. It can't just come and throw money at you. Then when the outcome comes, then we are going to do this for you. In return for what? In return for what? All Biafrans have been doing is suffering. And there was a gentleman that I think this man was featured in Obi's appearance in the US. And when people make statements, you wonder what they have been listening to. And this is why we tell people, know the core of our problem, know the root of our problem, and then educate the people for them to understand why we are in this dilemma. If you fail to educate the people, like my children, I tell them what is going on for them to know. So when you come out to make a public statement, you make sure you're not offending anybody, despite your rank and file. And we don't think that coming to make their statement because you are this or that bodes well with everybody. You cannot use your rank to influence other people because you are this or that. Many Biafrans are in the top US military ranks. But the bottom line is this: Biafrans must understand why we are in this problem. We have never been respected. We have never been acknowledged. And we have been sidelined. And we have been the victims of murder, genocide. And why will somebody, after experiencing this, will come to tell you you have come to support your brother, who is, by virtue of his rank, is being brought to influence the outcome of election of a certain group that are being sidelined? And no Biafran, after going through all this mess, will be happy to be in Nigeria. I don't think any meaningful Biafran will to that line. And when we say this, it does not mean that we are anti-progress. We are for progress. This is why we are doing what we are doing. This is why our leader did what he did and said, divide Nigeria, conduct a referendum. What's wrong with conducting a referendum? What's wrong with that? Let the people decide what they want to do. Let the people decide where they want to be. I want people to look into this issue. Why are they still adopting that name Nigeria? What's in that name Nigeria that has been very horrible to people? That name Nigeria has been terrible. notorious. And then people are still in Nigeria to keep Nigeria moving. Where are you moving to? You've never moved for over 100 years, over 100 years plus. You've never moved. And you're still answering the name Nigeria, let's move forward. And I just don't get it. I'll remind you once more that all colonized nations have changed their names. Those that have original name resorted to the original name. It is only 200 million people that cannot be able to stand and say, we've had enough. We are capable of piloting our own ship. No, they cannot. They look at the insult these politicians are hurling on us. You have a political confusion. You did not solve that problem in Abuja. Maybe there are no buildings, no high-class reception halls. There are no media equipment. It's just not conducive to be in Abuja. Or maybe they're running from the bandits. So if we stay in Abuja, they will bandit us, shoot us sky high. So we go to London. Oh, you can't go to Enugu. It's not safe. Oh, you can't go to Sokoto. You cannot do that. It's not safe. You can't go to Asaba. No, you can't go to Iguacha. You chose to go all the way to London. You chose to deplete the money you don't have, fly yourself to London to take a decision, and then you come back to the same country you flew away from. I mean, our people, foolishness has no boundary. And what did you achieve? What was the outcome? Did going to London change the atmosphere? Absolutely not. What is it you accomplished in London you couldn't have accomplished in the zoo? Absolutely not. That shows you slave mentality. And this is why we don't want these people around. They should all fade away and let the new generation take over. And this new generation will conduct the referendum. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi made a mention of that many times. You respect humanity. You respect the dignity of human beings. These are the ways things are done. You tell yourself, this is what we want to do. This is where we want to be. This is our problem. How are we going to solve it? No, they did not. They went to London. Then they are coming back to tell you that the Fulanis have been occupying the place. Yes, they have been. They have been doing all sorts of things. And you know that. You have been knowing that. This is why. This is why we want the referendum. This is why we want Nigeria to split. So that people that are of the same value, people that are of the same culture, people that are the same language, the same everything, they can do something progressively. The suspicion is there. There is no trust. And there will never be the trust because we are diverse. We are not the same. For God's sake, we are not the same. What are we achieving by answering the name Nigeria and being one that we are not one? And we are forging ahead with political rubbish that is not leading us anywhere. You put a Biafran there. Oh no. They are not pure. They are infidels. For over 100 years, but you're still forging ahead. And when you go abroad to show your incompetency, that buttresses what suspicion they have about us, our inability to resolve our problems. And if you can go to London and still not resolve it and come back, what's holding you? Divide. And we are talking about all these things, and when they do you wrong, then they'll start giving you token work. All along we've been crying about marginalization and the boycotting of Biafrans. Even when it comes to resources, we are nowhere. What they can do is to give you contract to guide the pipeline, which they have been guiding with the soldiers. They have been doing that with the soldiers. And today they are saying we are giving Tompolo contract to guide the oil pipelines. The people are dying. People are dying. Insecurity. This is what happened in Anambra yesterday, and I want people to hear it. When we talk about we killing ourselves, we tend to think that all is well with us. Despite the ones being killed by the Fulanis, we are busy toting guns, trying to do the unthinkable. This thing is not downloading properly. I have it here, but it's not downloading. Ebubago. The same people causing mayhem on the people, on the population. For one reason, it's not playing, so I will boycott it. I will go to something else. Why do we have to about these people? We cannot tolerate. Anambra vigilante arrested Bubago about youth. To Bubago. Also, when you say it, everybody will, when you introduce this terrorist, then everybody will be afraid. Then this person made a comment. Who invited the Bubago in Anambra State? I think it's the governor. That means the whole atrocities Sopo Zadema and Omar used the Bubago to commit. It's a welcome development for Soludo. We really have a long way to go. The same politicians. They come. They terrorize their people. And we don't have much to say. But those that say are being arrested. And that brings me back to the US. You know that way back around March somewhere, US blacklisted 6 Nigerians for financing Boko Haram. What happened to them? What happened to them? but they are here holding our leader, Mazi Nnamdi. The U.S. Department of State designated Boko Haram as a foreign terrorist organization. The U.S. Department of State designated Boko Haram as a foreign terrorist organization and specially designated global terrorist organization on November 14, 2013. This has been how long they've been designated terrorist organization, but they are operating freely in Nigeria. That is where they were born. And they added 6 Nigerians to the list of specially designated nations and blocked persons due to their support of Boko Haram, according to a statement by Ned Price, spokesperson of the U.S. Department of State. The U.S. Department of the Treasury Office and Foreign Access Control has added Nigerian nationals Abdurrahman Musa, Salihu Adamu, Bashir Yusuf, Mohammed Isa, Ibrahim Hassan, and Suraju Mohammed to the list of specially designated nationals and blocked persons. The 6 Nigerians were blacklisted for financing the activities of the terrorist group Boko Haram, who have in at least the past 10 years been responsible for the insecurity in northeastern Nigeria as well as neighboring countries. The group activities have caused over 100,000 deaths in northern Nigeria since 2009, according to the official figures. These people were not arrested. These people were not extraordinary renditions. They are roaming around. But our leader being held for advocating for sensible disintegration of the country so that human rights can be respected. That is a crime. And now you see why. Those that have no respect for human life will see you as an enemy because you call for peace. You call for peaceful disintegration. You call for a referendum for people to decide if they will continue to suffer. And you say, who said that? Oh, it's Biafra. Get him. He's causing treasonable felony. He's there. Then we that are the owners of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Biafrans, all of a sudden we are making a U-turn. Our own man, let's vote in for him. But you have forgotten your sufferings. You have all of a sudden, they carefully orchestrated the introduction of Obi into your walls, and you wholeheartedly, somebody longing to be a president of a nation, for a country that doesn't care about you, and you forgot your leader. You've forgotten your leader. And that shows the extent of our reasoning. Our first demand, release him before we engage any kind of political rubbish. Release him. That should be the demand of our Biafrans. And they stayed there. Mr. Otam is the one calling for it. Governor Otam is the one calling for it. Mazi Iyke is the one pointing finger at it, calling for it. Most Yoruba people are calling for it. Yoruba elders are calling for it. Where are their friends? Where are they? They cannot be heard. They cannot be seen. They cannot speak. Oh, they cannot speak, but you see them. The same people that cannot speak, the same people that cannot call for the release of their are the same ones running around. Obedience. One leg in Biafra land, one leg in Nigeria. That is why we must conduct a referendum. And let's not continue kidding ourselves, suffering the young man who sacrificed everything for your sake. as if we don't know what is happening to us. We are poor. All they can do is give you a contract for oil pipeline watchman. But they are the ones controlling this. They are the ones making the appointment. We tend not to see the seriousness of what is going on. London talks with Atiku. London talks with Tinubu, Atiku will be beyond party politics. Iyke. Oh yes, that was his comment. London talks with Tinubu, Atiku, Obi is beyond party politics. That's what Iyke said. And we will look into it. We will look into it. It is the problem we have. It is the problem we always experience. It is what we don't want to continue happening. And then, how do we change it? How do we change it? It's a question I'm asking. We cannot do anything anything that we feel because we feel that way. Let us see let us see what Obasanjo said, Atiku said, Iyke said. I was trying to get that a Nation newspaper. The story wasn't broad enough. I wanted it. The issue we have is so broad that we deviate from the core issue into something else that is doing us no good. Things that are not helping us. Things that when we do them, they put us into more trouble. And when we get into the trouble, we don't know how to get out of it. We don't know. When are we going to be honest to ourselves? When? It is confusion. It is deception. And those that were in the head I will give you an example. I will give you an example. All these people that are politically driving us to our death, they have amassed a lot of wealth and doesn't care. Doesn't care. You are not important to them, and they feel they can turn you around anytime they want. Biafrans, Oduduwas, Middle Belt, let this election may or may not hold. Let it not stop you from seeing that there is problem. Let it not shade your eyes. Let it not be something you will get involved in, and after that you regret. You cannot operate under a constitution that does not exist. We all know that. We all know that the constitution is false. Then why are you not addressing the core issue? They are making you continue voting and voting under false constitution. But people are not addressing it. We leave the real substance and go after the shadows. 200 and something million plus. And I gave you the instance of the NEPA, how people are revolting. If you can revolt, then your freedom is at hand. If you can express your feelings, your dissatisfaction with regard to what is happening, your freedom is at hand. If countries can stand and protest unilaterally, then they get their wish. For the fact that Nigeria is fractionalized, you cannot be able to protest. Because when the Biafrans are protesting, Oduduwa says it's not us, it is them. Biafrans are left to hang. Oduduwas are protesting. Biafrans will say, it is not us, it is them. Oduduwas will be left to hang. Oduduwas are protesting. Middle Belt will say, it's not us, it is them. Middle Belt is protesting. Oduduwa says, it is them. It is them. Why not? It is us. We are fractionalized. We are from different countries, bunched together. And there is nothing wrong with any Oduduwa person. That is who they are. Stop castigating them. That is their culture. That is their way. There is nothing wrong with anybody from Middle Belt. That is who they are. That is what they are. That is why they are different. There is nothing wrong with a Biafran. This is who we are. But when you cannot, why will you trust somebody you don't understand? And Britain is making us suffer. While we suffer, they are busy enjoying. And will you place that under Christianity or what? And let me shock you. I know the Ngwa people are coming. When we talk about Christianity, people think we are Christians. But when you insult Christians, when you berate them, when you trample on them, you are a Christian. And these things are happening, then it becomes confusing. Listen.
Because for you, there is no other name under these heavens by which anyone can be saved, except, let him take it, except through the name of Jesus. I'm not resisting arrest, but I didn't say anything wrong. When Jesus died on the cross, I will still preach it. I will still preach about Jesus. Okay? I will never stop.
So like I said, because you can't give your name and address,
I will not give you my name and address. I don't have I didn't do any antisocial behavior. I want you to keep recording. What you do is rude. Keep recording, please. Keep recording. No. I didn't do anything wrong. You cannot take my name and address. Please, you are hurting my. Please, you are hurting. You have already handcuffed me. You are hurting my hands. You are hurting my hands. I said you are hurting my. I'm not moving it. You are hurting my hands. I said you are hurting my hands. You are hurting. You are hurting my hands. Yeah, I'm not moving, but it's too painful. Please don't pull it again. Put me in your place. Right, you. What have you got to do with me? I don't want me. What's he got to do with you? You don't want me. I don't know what the hell. Don't stick to him in my face. You don't in my face. You are for the yeah, don't stick the phone in my face. Don't stick the phone in my face, Paul. What you gonna do? That could be your son's doing this job. Yeah, stay there. Nobody's scared of you. Nobody's scared of you. And that's why I'm being arrested. What? For what reason? Right here. What did I do wrong? I'm standing right here. Yeah, you're standing right here. Yeah. Don't stick the phone in my face. Don't stick it in my face. Get the hell off, bro. Please don't drop it.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing.
He hasn't done nothing wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Let them tell you what you're charging a man for.
They said it's issue.
They said there's an accuser. Where's the accuser?
Yes.
I've already told him what he's accused of.
But they have to show up. What are they accusing him of? You don't commit a crime by preaching.
Where is the accuser?
They're not accusing you.
I said why, and you didn't tell me why. What did you say? What did you say?
What did you say?
Yeah, name and address after.
Yeah, but I didn't do any antisocial. What have I wrong? I've been giving tracts to people. I was just preaching. Did I touch anybody? No. I didn't push anybody. No. Just for talking about Jesus. You're arresting me.
Yeah, because you failed to give your name and address.
You had that. Yes, you had it. Bunga people are here. I just want you to know. Keep your eyes open. Keep your brains sharp. And that is what they used to colonize us. We have our own religion. Chukwu Kikabiam. But here they are, telling you, do it inside your house, not outside. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You may pass your own judgment. What is your Christian name? Christian. What is your Christian name? Charity. What is your Christian name? Blessing. But you cannot preach about God and Christ. If you want to do it inside your room. And that is why they armed the Fulanis to kill us. And our people are foolishly doing what they shouldn't do. I want people that are intelligent. And that is why they're not doing anything. You can say whatever you want to say. They feel they're not concerned in any shape. The Ngwa people are here. Mazi Iyke, and over to you. Network issue. Oh yeah. Not surprised at all. Not surprised. We must move forward. We are having all this experience. Other countries in Africa having the same network experience, and the answer is no. It is only us. It is only us. You pay no services. You pay for light, no services. You pay for water, no services. Con artists, they steal your money, your hard-earned money. Keeps going on and on. It's going to be one of those days. Hang in there, Kelechi, you'll be okay. We're not going
Igbo mụrụ ọzọ asịrị na duru na mmanụ ụbọchị taa mbụ ngwụsịcha ọnwa ime ọnwa na taa bụ ngwụsịcha ọnwa taa mbụ abalị ụbọchị ka ikpoto maazụ na ngwụsịcha ọnwa na asịrị Igbo mụrụ ọzọ ya ma arụ na mmụrụ ibu ndị ngwa ndị mụrụ ndị karị ndị ewonu ndị oke mmadụ ibe maazị nọ na-awụnụ ka a na nka ndị ka anyị nọ n'otu onye dịka na-adị mgbọrọ bụ aka na-abụ ugbu a na-ebu n'oche anyị gakwọrọ otu anyị na-eji eme ọgụ nwanne ụlọ nwoke onye evu nwere isi si ihe dịka esi mere igwe ntara nke ime n'ala mgba mekwe n'ala Biafra gara nwoke nzukọ ndị gwara redio Biafra ọ bụ okwe m na dịda arụzi na anyị nọ ya na gboo ga-emekwa ha anyị na-eji eme anyị agakwala igbetakpọrọ unu ha anyị na-ejikwa egwetara unu n'ọdọ na-eji eme obi ada ama unu mma mara si Igbo mụrụ ọzọ Biafra ndị nwe m ya mara unu mma n'ụbọchị taa mara unu mma ya ma bụ dịka dịkwa ịmara unu ya ma kpọrọ okwe m na-agba afụfụ afụ n'eke ndị niile hụ ọmala eji ama mma ndị hụrụ nwere onwe anya ndị nọ na nwere onwe ndị enyi ndị nwere ndị ahụrụ ndị enweghị nwere onwe bụ nke nwebekee ikpere gọvanọs afụdo a sị m n'ụbọchị taa mara unu mma dịka ọnwa na na-ahụfụ ngwụsịcha unu dịka unu hụ ngwụsịcha ọnwa na otu ala unu dị na ọchịchị akpa ngwụsịcha ọnwa ka jiri gata mara asị Igbo mụrụ ọzọ ya mara unu mmadụ na-esi ụtụtụ ọma ikodo ọma anyị asọma ndị nwe m ebe ọrịa dị ka anyị tịda n'olu anya ụmụnne anyị ndị nọ ya mara unu mma ụtụtụ ọma nọ ndị Nostra, Yamano Ma, only you around the Coma, in Australia, Australia, Cameroon, Mandicare Paranolo, Bomboni could do after Crad and other Biafra, when you got the baby, Cholo, to the Victoria, Maras in the car, Yamano. Ada meji ada bata mali de kam de na batilo ada pales de na bata kwando de no haye bo pleno da udwa e pitani ke FM station pako community radio community are se community rare ga ni bani asentin de kamare mi burma pare homboro pakala ko ada na de chotani pro the Kanja Motama was Jambirem, about Tankaya, Maras, Tam, was Chawali Moana, Yamaru Nogama, Yamaru Mamaroni Tama, Gossip Kali